TV18.
Hello and welcome to Indianomics. There has been an adrenaline rush in the Indian stock market, so we are at lifetime highs and the Bank Nifty is spearheading that rise. So have things turned around marginally better for Indian banks? There are some factors that are giving us some hope. Power tariffs have been raised by the CERC. Road builders have been allowed to defer the premiums that they pay the government. Auto sales appear to have bottomed out, or so the February sales numbers seem to indicate. The Reserve Bank has been very successful in controlling the price of the dollar from shooting up. So FX-related debt problems are being reined in. And then you're seeing a lot of corporate groups seriously deleveraging, and the Environment Ministry is fast-tracking a lot of approvals. So does all this tie up for banks? Is the worst over for them? And therefore, should we, expect at least asset quality deterioration to stop? That's exactly what we are discussing today. And on the show, joining us in a bit is Mr. S.S. Mundra, Chairman and Managing Director at Bank of Baroda, Ramraj Pai, President and Business Head, Large Corporates at CRISIL Ratings, and Srinivasan Varadarajan, the Executive Director at Axis Bank. Well, the bankers are joining us in just a bit. So let me start first with Ramraj Pai of CRISIL Ratings, a man who looks at a whole host of corporates and their debt quality. Good morning, Ramraj. The bankers are with us in just a minute. But the first question really to you. Let me start with the road projects. There, the government's move is very clear. Premiums can be deferred by those who are building projects 2-lane to 4-lane. There, the premiums can be paid later. Even for 4 to 6-lane projects, some of them have been allowed to defer payments. Have you done any back-of-the-envelope calculations? Will it save some people from becoming NPLs?
Yeah, thanks, Lata, for the opportunity to be here. I think yes, we've done some back-of-the-envelope calculations broadly. So I think overall, if I really see at a more of a policy level, this is something which is a positive because people can defer their premium payments, and that is definitely something that is going to be a positive over a period. But I think also what is important to state here is that, notwithstanding these positives, the reality is that the issues which are facing the road sector are slightly larger than this. And I think, issues like non-availability of land for, completing their works and things like that are also real issues. But I think all in all, I think these are positive steps. And will definitely,
Ramraj,
to some extent...
Ramraj, a word positive step is not taking us anywhere. Is it really going to mean that those who would become NPLs are now saved from that simply because they don't have to pay the government? There is a little more cash. They can pay the banks. Is there any tangible result like that?
I think, I think we will be, awaiting some of the finer policy details in that, which we still don't have at this point. But all in all, I think definitely it could ease the liquidity situation for some of the developers. All
right. Our bankers are with us, so let me welcome them immediately, Mr. Mundra and Srini. Thank you very much for joining us. Well, Srini, first to you. On road projects, it seems very, very tangible. In power tariffs, there is still some time before the tariffs are raised and the DISCOMs become solvent. What is the sense you're getting in roads? Are you seeing that exposure a little safer now?
Now, my view is slightly different. I think a lot of policy initiatives happen on the power front, and the focus the effort has been to kickstart that sector, create more enablers in terms of getting the sector back on track. So in power sector, I think you've seen a lot more policy initiatives. As far as roads are concerned, I think the problems are twofold. One, I think the roads in terms of the macro itself has had a bearing on roads a lot more than on power side, because the overall traffic has been much lower. To that extent, I don't think so it's a problem associated with a project or a developer as such. Okay. But the overall traffic has been much lower because the macro has been very different from what has been projected, say, 2-3 years back. If you believe you've hit the bottom and then things are going to look up, the traffic scenario and the toll collections also should sort of start looking up.
You don't see any improvement because of exports? Because that is one part where we suddenly saw logistics companies' shares rising.
No, I think it will happen. But what I'm saying is it is not yet happened. So you would see the macro impact on roads has been a lot more than any other sector, and to that extent, whether it's operational or in terms of projects under development, I think you're seeing a lot more of that happening. The redeeming feature on the roads front is the tail associated with those projects, meaning the loans are for 15 years, but the concession is for 25 years. So you have a 10-year leeway in terms of the concessionaire having the project and the cash flow associated with the project, even though the loan is only on 15 years. So the cash flows for the next 10 years can be used to repay the loans. So it is not a question of whether the loan is going to go bad or not. Because of traffic projections not being on track vis-a-vis what was projected 3 years back, there may be some cash flow tinkering which needs to happen. From a point of view of viability of the project or the loan itself, I think it's less of an issue.
No, I take your point. I take your point. Sooner or later, that money will come, is what you're saying. It may come a little late. But I'm just asking you that for the system as a whole, or anecdotally for your bank in particular, are you seeing that the number of roads developers who might have gone bad is decreasing, or that trend is not yet something you can speak about?
No, I don't think so. Roads you've seen some more restructuring, but I don't think so. Roads going bad is something which you've seen a lot of, just not only with Axis but also with the system as such. I think that's the story across banks. And I would think if you look at the interest of PE investors or equity investors in projects, I think the interest on roads is much more than any other sector.
Right.
Anecdotally, if you see the projects which have been sold and interest which you're seeing, I think you're seeing because it is primarily annuity based.
Fair enough. Mr. Mundra, now for your word on this. Unfortunately, I started with roads. Maybe as Srini says, I should start with power, but we are getting to it in 1 minute. In roads, basically the trigger that clearly was visible in the stock markets, shares of Nagarjuna Construction went up 12%, IRB went up 8%, and all the banking space, your bank in particular is up 20% in a week, Mr. Mundra. The underlying assumption of investors is that probably things that would have gone bad will now not go bad because the NHAI chairman has allowed them to pay the money back later. Your comment on road exposures, is the worst over?
Yeah, of course, Lata. I think your question is encompassing both the road sector and the larger overall direction. But first, let me start with you. Nothing wrong in starting with the road, because if you have to commence a journey, you have to come on the road only. So you have done a very right thing. Nothing wrong in that.
Okay.
No, see, I'll extend what Srini was mentioning. As a matter of fact, if we see the infra story of past few years, there were two major sectors, power and road. If I reflect at my portfolio, I think at least the story thus far, the power was more affected sector, road was not so much affected. Of course, fact remains that a number of projects were still under commencement, and the whole issue was that if you look at the scenario today and run a stress test, then probably there was a possibility that some of these projects may face the cash flow crunch. For both the regions, delay in the projects, but also because of the slowing economy, the traffic, the load coming down and the cash flow getting affected. That was the position. But, at this point of time, if I look at the portfolio, I don't think that the position of road portfolio in NPL formation was in a situation as the power portfolio had been.
Fair enough.
So, going forward now, of course, with the premium is one thing. If we look at if the macro picture improves, if the growth rate is to revive, then traffic projections may also improve. But one thing which I fully agree with Srini, the whole road project, or for that matter any infra project, obviously the life of project and the cash flow 20-25 years, which for the purpose of financing, they get compressed into 10 to 12 years. And if sensitivity has to change on few parameters, then it becomes a problem, and then the NPL formation and those kind of issues come. I think while takeout is one route, but takeout is an entirely different kind of structure.
Yeah.
My personal feeling is, and I have argued at a few forums, just let me complete,
yes,
that there is a strong case when project life is 20-25 years, there is a merit that a tail can be allowed to left, let's say 10 years from now, and with a strong belief that at that point of time this tail can be refinanced. If the project has run and repaired for 10 years, there is no reason to believe why it cannot be refinanced at that point of time, and the second phase of repayment can commence. I think that will take care of a lot of problems which we are facing today.
Okay, let me come back to now the power sector, since the problem is larger and the government's efforts started earlier. What is your sense now, purely in terms of the situation at hand? Have the number of NPL started declining, or do you think that you will see some more NPLs in that sector before things plateau out?
The power sector, of course, as I did mention, that there were problems were more in power sector. But in power sector, it will be very difficult to equate the entire power sector under one bracket, because there were many kinds of division within that. One clear segment which is can be signaled out is the power projects which were based on gas. Now that is one segment where I think resolution is still some time ahead. It is not going to happen tomorrow. That is one thing. Within thermal, there were a number of varieties. The domestic allocation, the mix of domestic and imported, the one who are having the captive mines. So there were a variety of factors. But fact remains that 2-3 things which has happened. Number one, the recent revision of tariff, the kind of policy direction which has come. The second thing is the restructuring of SEBs, and some of them have started moving in the framework which was decided. Some of the minings getting cleared. I think all these factors, if I put together, my sense is that the fear which we were having about that the magnitude of problem would be lower than what it was being felt, a quarter back or 2 quarters back. Saying that, it doesn't mean that there won't be a problem. There would be still project-specific problems, but the magnitude on an overall portfolio basis would certainly be diluted.
No, are you saying that fresh NPLs will be created but slowly, or are you saying that the total stock of NPLs you have will start receding?
No, it will be, it will be both things. Number one, the stock of NPA, as the projects start, come on the stream, some of those may get out of the NPL position. But to say that there won't be at all a new NPL formation, probably it be little too early to believe that. There could still be occasional cases, and as I said, the sector specific or the raw material specific, which may still have some problems on hand.
Okay. Well, just one more question to Ramraj, and after that we have to take a break. Ramraj, in the specific area of power and roads, in CRISIL's own rating, what is the rating situation? More upgrades, more downgrades?
Yeah, so I think in both of these sectors, as of now, we do see definitely more downgrades than upgrades. And as I was trying to say earlier on, before Srini and Mundra Saab joined, was that, there are several policy level issues which need to be sorted out in both the sectors. And I think, as has been pointed out, we are much ahead on the road side compared to on the power side compared to on the road side. So I think as of now we see far many more downgrades. We aren't really seeing
far many more downgrades in either of these sectors. In both
the sectors we are seeing far many more downgrades. The issues could be different, definitely in the two sectors, but clearly today we see far many more downgrades. And our estimate is that it will be a while before we start seeing upgrades in the sector.
In power,
I think we will have to solve...
No, Ramraj, in power sector, you are not seeing a decrease in downgrades also?
Yeah, I think, what will happen is that slowly over the next...
Ramraj, I'm not asking you what will happen. No, I'm not asking you what will happen. Power sector reforms have been underway for some time now. any improvement on the ground in terms of lessening?
We are not seeing, no, not really,
Okay.
not really, not yet. It's too early.
Oh, right. All right. Okay, then perhaps the market is smelling a recovery 9 months down the line. We'll take a break on this note. We are back with more questions. Export performance, project exports have improved, and there have been some early hopes that capex cycles will start at least in minor irrigation projects. Some state governments have started giving orders. So how is that cycle looking? All that with our guests in a minute. Welcome back to Indianomics. We have been discussing the reasons and the triggers for this phenomenal rise we saw in the Bank Nifty and in some infrastructure stocks. The question we are asking our guests, one rating agency expert and two bankers, is whether the situation on the ground for bad loans in general and for infrastructure bad loans in particular has started to improve. Our guests, as you can see, Ramraj Pai of Crystal Ratings and Mr. S.S. Mundra, Chairman Managing Director of Bank of Baroda, Srinivasan Varadarajan, Executive Director of Axis Bank. Srini, if you can intervene on what on the way Ramraj ended the conversation. He said that on the ground there are still more downgrades than upgrades, or still rising downgrades in the power and road space. How is it with respect to the loans?
Yeah, I think that is exactly how rating agencies and markets look. Meaning rating agencies are going to go by what's actually happening on the ground. What are the last year's financial results? I don't think so they will take a call in terms of how the sector is going to sort of change based on policy initiatives. Of course, they do take a call, but again, in terms of factoring that, I think they will be a lot more conservative in terms of what could happen. As far as the market is concerned, I think it also goes the other way in terms of trying to build in a lot more bullishness than what possibly actually is happening on the ground. But as I said right up front, power sector has seen a lot more changes than any of the other sectors, primarily because media and everyone has kept it on the front pages for the last almost 1 year.
Yeah.
And banks have reasonable exposures to it and have been focused on trying to resolve some of this, whether with government or with developers. All I can say now, right, is that FSAs for the 78,000 megawatts has been signed.
Yeah.
And even where linkages were not there, if the projects are broadly nearing completion by March 2015, tapering linkages are being given.
Okay.
So from a fuel side, I think things are happening. Discoms have raised prices over the last year, 18 months, and these price rises have been fairly substantial. And overall across the country, it's almost like close to 30% increase in tariffs have happened as far as the consumer is concerned. SEB restructurings are in progress. You've seen some of the big state governments restructure, payments coming through for most of the developers from these state government discoms. Lastly, in terms of PPAs, I think PPAs are being bid out. You've seen Tamil Nadu, you've seen Rajasthan, you've seen Uttar Pradesh. The PPAs have been bid out and the levels have been 5 rupees or higher, and those are levels at which projects clearly seem viable. So I think broadly things are moving and have moved substantially over the last 6-9 months to say that the sector is in a much better position right now than before.
Okay.
And just to answer your question on NPLs, I think the projects were not the ones which were becoming NPAs. I think the RBI window of this 2 years in terms of extension of commercial production and has turned out to be actually a very, very right move where projects have got the time to breathe and get back on track, and that's exactly what's happening on power. So it was not like any deferment of COD would have made it an NPA. With that window which they gave has clearly helped in sort of putting the sector back on.
And that continues even in the new dispensation. Mr. Mundra, let me expand the argument a little bit more. On the one hand, we have seen a lot of project exports coming in for capital goods. So, even if they don't get local business, they're getting business from outside. Generally, exports have increased. But on the other hand, huge slashing of government plan expenses. And last time around, that created NPLs. Growth still at 4.8, 4.7%. That creates its own NPLs in the MSME, SME sector. Your comment on your own NPL position in the fourth quarter and the first quarter of next year and for the system as a whole. Is the pain at its peak and going to recede, or is there one more quarter to peak or 2 more quarters to peak?
Anyway, coming to before that, just a couple of points on the power sector was Srini has already mentioned.
Yes, sir.
The couple of more points, like a number of stalled projects which were taken up for the resolution, and quite a few have been able to get the clearances. Some of them have started picking up the tools again, and we are also seeing some disbursement. So that is the one factor I want to add. Yeah, I also agree that as far as the rating is concerned, it takes some time.
Yeah.
We are talking about the last year's financials, we are talking about the leveraging levels. But even if you look from that perspective, in the last couple of months, there had been few cases where people have been able to dispose of, the surplus assets, or they have been able to find the investors. These are all, positive pointers.
Yes.
Now, as far as the NPL formation is concerned, yes, slowdown in the payment cycle is really a worry. I have argued many times that we have many projects or the businesses which are otherwise doing well, selling on profit, they have a demand, but because the realization is not coming, and the NPL recognition in our system is rule-based. So despite all other things being positive, account can still face the prospects of being an NPA. But to my mind, we are about to enter into the next fiscal year. And, by then the formation of next administration, quite a few events would have taken place. So my sense is that the payment cycle in the economy would certainly improve. And once that improves, I think it will help the accounts.
Okay, so you would say, sir, the first quarter of next year will be the worst, and you must see a receding of NPL pressure in the September quarter?
No, why worst? See, I have been, if I talk about the Bank of Baroda, I think I have been mentioning for last four
for you it is behind you,
yes. A couple of quarters. Yeah, so I would see a position of stability and improving, barring, something very extraordinary happening in the macro environment.
So even this quarter you would think it's better?
System, I would say stability continuing. And even for the system, I would expect that now there should be a stability and improvement coming.
All right. Ramraj, actually run out of time. Last 2 minutes for you. This upgrade, downgrade overall picture, how is the ratio moving? And in the fourth quarter, what is your forecast?
Yeah, so I think, see, from a ratio of about 0.6, which is about 60 upgrades to 100 downgrades, in March 13, I think we are up to about 0.7, 0.75 kind of number, for the 9 months ended. And our estimate is that, therefore, we are seeing, a slight marginal kind of an uptick from the lows that we hit about 9 months earlier. Our sense is that we will remain in that kind of a zone with a definitely a positive bias upwards is what we would believe.
So now you are at 0.7 upgrades to 10 downgrades.
Yes.
And you expect it would be maybe 0.8?
70 upgrades to 100 downgrades.
Okay, and it might be what, 80?
I think we should be marginally trending upwards. We should be trending upwards, yes, definitely.
Right. Okay, out of time, but the common theme I get from all our experts is that the worst clearly is over. Mr. Mundra saying with confidence that there is stability in the amount of NPLs for the system and certainly for Bank of Baroda, and on to improve. Srini echoing that it is even better, if anything, and Ramraj Pai saying that clearly the numbers show that the number of downgrades as a percentage of or the number of upgrades as a percentage of downgrades is increasing. So the stock market's move perhaps is to some extent justifying what is already on the ground, though perhaps a large part of it is in the anticipation that tomorrow there will be 80 upgrades to 100 downgrades, and once a new government comes in, things could get better. Well, on that positive note, Srini, Mr. Mundra and Ramraj Pai, thank you very much for joining me in this conversation and infusing some optimism and realism into the heady run that we saw in the markets last week. Thanks a lot for watching this edition of Indianomics.